So basically, we are doing a cross-cultural research project where we are very keen to know that how the academic leaders address this challenge during the COVID. Now, when we talk about leadership, leadership is all about innovation, creativity, empathy, and a lot of decision makings. So since this is a cross-cultural project, so we consider two academic leaders from India and two academic leaders from UK. And we are doing the interview. Now, the most interesting part of this research project is it's an audiovisual project. And so initially the interviews will be edited and uploaded on the social media platform.
As long as you're happy with that.
YouTube channel also. So because the whole idea of this project is not only writing a research article, also to create a discourse, initiate a conversation among the other people. So the video obviously help us to do this stuff. And then after that, definitely once the project will be, all the interview will be finished, then I and Tony will sit down and we do the rest of the research related activities and convert it to a research article. So this is all about the project. And if you have any other question, I would love to address this question. Otherwise, I can start asking you the question, the first question.
By the way, I'm happy to proceed as whenever you are.
Great stuff. Thank you, Paul. Okay, Adity, over to you. Do you want
Thank
to
you
go
very much.
Right. So the first question, every time, whenever a crisis comes, it is not only the COVID, right? We always see that the universities, the educational institutions actually play a very important role. But at this time, what happened? The universities are likely to experience a very unthinkable disruptions. The main challenges were mainly unreliable information, unclear, shifting goals, and very ill-structured situations. These challenges definitely affect the employees and other stakeholders of higher education domain. So my first question to you is, what are the leadership competencies required during and post-COVID era to address this unpredictable situation according to your experience?
Interesting. I was just writing some notes there about the various phases that we've been in. And the most challenging one with any predicament like this hasn't just been managing the immediate challenges in front of you, is trying to get a sense of the duration. And I think the unknowability of the longevity of this challenge has been one of the greatest difficulties. So it's introduced a heightened component of fluidity, of contradiction, and of a sense of unknowingness that I think is way beyond anything we've had. Even the kind of discourse of wicked problems have been challenged, because the wicked problem, at least you can identify the nature of the beast, as it were, the challenge, that you can identify the exam question, and then you bring cross-functional teams, you bring a whole range of adaptive approaches to the leadership challenge. Here you're dealing with something that is more fluid, that is mutating on a very regular basis. So I think your project is so timely, because I don't know if we have developed the leadership tools that are needed. Last year, my university put in place a coaching program. The first time that we'd actually had a collective coaching program for many years. I'd only been Vice-Chancellor for a year and a half now, but the theme of the coaching was flattening the curve. And it was an attempt to use the current crisis as a way of both testing our adaptability, our adaptive approaches to problem solving, but also how the team dynamic was developing under strain. Kind of an interesting experiment of bringing a coach in who in normal times would be dealing with everything from a language of effectiveness, of mutual accountability, of sharing, etc., was into this potent mix of COVID. So in terms of leadership requirements, to answer the question, I think it's required extraordinary levels of dexterity, way beyond most toolboxes that any of us ever kind of carry around with ourselves. I think it's required contingent decisiveness, constantly having to assure your population, but surrounded by hypotheticals and contingencies. The greatest pressure, though, I think, of the leadership in any university in particular is the tendency of the staff and the students and their parents to look up, to look to the management to act as the responsible adults, and then constantly a kind of abdication of personal responsibility by pushing decisions up as opposed to taking ownership at local level, because that was seen as far too risky. So for me, the leadership requirements have been around several dimensions. The risk landscape has had to be understood in a very, very particular kind of way. Communications have been the biggest challenge, I think. And then communicating for a VC in particular with leadership up into the board, who are expecting maximum levels of control, and then down into the student population, who move and veer from disbelief through to incredulity, through to denial. And you may have, in my last job in Australia, I had 26,000 students. Here I've got far fewer, but they don't act as a coherent body. And the danger is you think of the staff as the staff, and you think of the students as the students. So the leadership is understanding that you can rarely achieve consensus because actually you're dealing with 26,000 different views.
Thank you, Paul. That's a great answer to the first question, and as you say, very interesting to hear your views on just how movable this